TD Jake steps down from the Potter's house after 30-plus years amid mention in Diddy's lawsuit.
Swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up? Have you gone through a time of swallowing where everything was over?
Now, this might just be me, but randomly, every time I walk around the house, this is all I say. Have you ever been swallowed up? Swallowed.
TD Jake, a well-known pastor in Dallas, has been named in a lawsuit involving scene Diddy Combs. The lawsuit alleges that Diddy intended to utilize his association with the bishop to mitigate potential damage to his public reputation.
There will be scandals among the high and the mighty. So I saw a row of thrones seated in high positions. Earthquake hit those thrones. They started to shake, and people began to fall out of the thrones in public and shameful falls. The Lord said that Bishop T.D. Jakes will have one of the biggest scandals of all time in the Christian church, one of the biggest shaming falls before God finally judges him in taking his life. The Lord said this man is not a straight man. He is not a heterosexual man. His name will be named by the people he has been with. His scandal will involve his sexual orientation, and God says that this is when people will finally see who they have been following with a lot of these pastors and spiritual leaders. So this prophecy came before the other one. This one is September 1st, that the Lord first said that on top of being a false prophet, on top of misleading people, on top of, he called it financial impropriety, which means that there is severe questions about what happens to money in the Potter's house. He says that this man is a wolf in sheep's clothing, that this man is a Freemason, and that he is brotherhood. This is what the Lord revealed months ago in the false prophet's prophecy. But now in this live call, God brought out that this man is not interested in women, but is bent towards males. But not only that, has harmed underage youths and boys. And God says that this scandal will be named by the people he has been with. The males are going to bring out, he says, proof. The evidence this bishop will be fighting is hard evidence. And God says he will spend considerable time, considerable energy, considerable power, and considerable money to suppress that evidence so that it does not come out in the legal battles that will follow. But God said that we are going into an era where the evidence will get a chance.
It appears that Cat Williams was not the only one who had a glimpse of what's to come. Recalled his prediction that 2024 would be a year of revelations, and it seems his words are now ringing true.
I think about it as this, when I grew up in the church, the sinners was not supposed to have the same atmosphere with the saints. You had to be able to separate the two. So I'm looking at him as a saint going to a party that ain't nothing but sin, drinking, maybe fornication, man on man, woman on woman, he on she. But maybe he there to lay some hands on somebody. Maybe he there to save some souls. I know he got a contract with Revolt, so I'm just like, it's just real strange that he would be found at any kind of Diddy party or any kind of place with Diddy unless it's in a business atmosphere. So now what he's doing is he's making, man, he making the Christians look real bad right about now.
And you been to these parties, right?
Oh yeah. I was there when he was doing the white parties in the Hamptons and the whole 9 yards. So I know what goes on at the parties. If, they probably got a little bit more freakier, as time went on, because they got to the point whereas that they didn't even care. It used to be secretly, where people used to go to, separate rooms and different rooms, and they wasn't doing that out in the public, but now they don't care. Men kissing men and all this other shit. That's just crazy.
So why do you think he was going to these parties?
I think that he's going to the Diddy parties, you know, bruh. If he's going, well, we know he's going to the Diddy parties, and I know that it's, I know what usually happens at the Diddy party, or what we told us happened at the Diddy parties. Maybe he needs to see it for himself, man. Maybe he needs to go there and really be involved in some things that could help save some individuals while they going to those parties. Or maybe he just going to, man, it's hard to even talk about. Why would you find a religious man, you know, when you know that the saints supposed to separate themselves from the sinners? And why would a religious man like himself be at a party which ain't nothing but sin that's going on, bro? Whether it's drinking, maybe fornicating, maybe, like I said, men on men, women on women. It's hard to put in perspective unless he's involving himself what is actually going on at the parties. It's hard, brother. Bruh, you know, you can't, I really don't know why, as a spiritual advisor to him, that they buddy while he got a party with him like that and be at his parties. It's got to be, maybe it's something more that meets the eye. You know, I don't know. You know, I've had, you know, I've talked to preachers and I've talked to reverends and priests, but they ain't never came to a party with me or nothing like that. So it's hard to figure that one out, bruh, without even saying, you know, what people might be thinking. But I heard that there's supposed to be some tapes or something that's coming out real soon. And I guess we'll all really know the truth if anything's on those tapes.
From your point of view, right, when you look at TD Jakes, your point of view, your opinion, do you take him serious as a pastor?
Do I take him serious? That's not my type of pastor. You know, you got to look at a person's household. And if your household is not in order, you understand, how you going to help somebody else get their house in order? You know, one of his sons got arrested, you know, some years ago in Dallas, you know, allegedly for being found in a park where a bunch of people that are homosexuals hang out and indulge in sexual activity. And I heard his two sons, which are not his biological sons, both of them are from that LGBT community. Now, how you gonna help me straighten out my house? And to me, your house ain't in order. Not saying that something is wrong with them being and choosing that lifestyle, but something is wrong with them choosing that lifestyle, being in a household with a reverend.
TD Jakes has stepped down amidst allegations, passing the reins to his daughter in an effort to protect the church's reputation. When asked about the bishop's involvement, many celebrities seem unsurprised, suggesting that they wouldn't put it past him.
They're very insulated. They can do what they want. They got people on payroll, and the people on payroll is guilty as everybody too.
Yeah.
Because that means that you done sold your soul to watch other people get taken advantage of, and you're aiding and abetting in that situation. So you're fucked up too.
Yeah, I mean, Puffy's lawyer, not Puffy's lawyers, Puffy's bodyguards, you know, have come forward and was, you know, one of them said, one of them, Roger Bonds, was actually listed in the paperwork of Cassie's lawsuit, and he came forward and said, yeah, it's true. And the only reason I'm saying now is because I had 4 daughters, you know, but...
He had 4 daughters then.
He had 4 daughters then. So that's the argument. Like, well, if it was so bad, how come you kept working for this guy.
Yes,
And,
exactly.
You know, that's
exactly.
ultimately the argument there.
Everybody involved in all the R. Kelly shit, all the cover-up boys, all the ticket bookers, all that shit, and everybody involved that aided and abetted in Diddy or anybody who does this, Epstein and all the motherfuckers, everybody's guilty. Everybody's guilty.
And now it's getting even crazier. Now there's rumors about TD Jakes being involved in these various situations and so forth. Not to say it's real.
No, listen.
I'm not saying it's real, but TD Jakes was trending the other day.
I know it, but
for a reason he didn't want to be trending for.
And I shook my head, not to say that's ridiculous. I shook my head to say, unfortunately, I don't put nothing past nobody no more.
There you go.
I just can't get shocked no more.
Yep.
I've been so disappointed in the people that I've looked up to and found out about their dirty, shady, fucked up ways.
Yep.
And I knew this before it ever started coming out in papers because, you know, I know some people who spoke about it publicly and then they got persecuted.
It's been reported that Bishop T.D. Jakes' son was not considered as a successor due to his own legal issues, having been arrested for indecent behavior. This has led some to comment on the perceived similarities between the two, with some saying like father, like son.
Now, I'm looking at Rev ain't got his house in order, and his boys is like that. They should be a product of him. Maybe the boys is telling you something and saying something loud without even opening their mouth. Or do they open their mouth? I don't know.
Right. But I would have backtracked, right? I would have backtracked to Cassie. Do you think she was attracted to Diddy, or do you think she was only with him because of his money?
She said she wasn't. She said she wasn't. It ain't what I think. She said I wasn't physically attracted to him. I didn't think he was this, that, and the third. Yo, you got to think he's your father or something like that. Your old man. I think she was 19 and he was in his early 40s or what? Late 30s? She could have been his daughter.
What's the point of getting with a chick, bro, that you know not physically attracted to you? Like,
Yo, bro, it's a lot of cats out here. They, for a better word, they F out their league. And the girl looking at them like she the Statue of Liberty. She always got her hands in the air. Give me, lend me, can you spare? And when dudes figure out that those women is only using them because what they can give them and what they have for them, they become violent towards them.
Beanie Siegel, also known as Beanie CLD, has shared his account of attending parties hosted by Scene Diddy Combs, describing the events in detail.
Wrote for Diddy at one point, right?
Yeah, I wrote a couple records. Yeah, it was a couple records. I don't really remember the exact records though.
How did they come about, though? Him reaching out to you for you to write for him?
I did that early in my career when I first signed with Rockefeller. Yeah, it was a little bidding war. Yeah, I got the call from Puff, and me, him, and Nas was going to do a record together. Then I wound up staying at the studio doing a couple records.
That's news to me, man. So he was trying to sign you to Bad Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's news right there, yo.
I could have been that Bad Boy. I could have been with Rough Riders. Couple spots.
Why didn't you sign a Bad Boy?
I was already committed to Rockefeller. I ain't signed no contract yet, but it was already done.
When you look back in hindsight, do you regret it?
Being signed to Rockefeller?
Yeah.
Hell no. No, I don't regret that at all.
So when you look back at your career, knowing that you could have been a Bad Boy or Rough Riders, you still, you can go back, you would still sign.
You listen to that question you just asked me. Bad Boy or Rough Riders? Maybe Rough Riders. But right now, in hindsight, looking at things, Nah.
right.
Nah.
Right.
Nah.
I feel you, man. I feel you. But I gotta ask you, man. I gotta ask you this. How you feel about the situation Diddy going through right now?
Man. It's wild. You know, y'all got that game pause. They stopped saying pause and now it's no Diddy. That's a bad joint. That's bad. Man, no Diddy.
Have you ever been to his parties?
Not one. Not one. Not one. Ever.
Yo, have you heard about him though?
Yeah. Yeah, you hear about them parties? Nah. That wasn't for me. No, sir.
What you hear about him?
Same thing everybody else heard about him.